Let's work on this emotional baggage because it's coming with you. It's coming. It doesn't work, ladies. You don't get to just say, I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I don't even care. I think I am. And we are weighed down with the weight of this emotional baggage because we aren't really doing anything but dragging it and not looking at it. So we do need to take the time to meet a mental health professional and let's check this baggage. Let's go through it. Figure out what it is we need to do with it. Because here's the thing that happens when we're trying to put this baggage away. I need you to understand some of us are guilty of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We take this emotional baggage and we want to get rid of all that baggage, but what we end up doing is checking all of our emotions. If I'm going to do well in this company, they cannot see me sweat. I'm a strong woman. Any strong, independent women in the room? That's how we have to do it, right? We come in checking emotions at the door all day, every day. Listen, ladies. This is not what makes us strong. This is not even what makes us effective. We need our emotions. They are a part of us. So I need you to understand there are some that we're going to check. There's some that you come on, carry on. Because I'm going to need them at any given moment while I'm soaring. So do not put your emotions, all this emotional baggage, and shake it under the plane and we never see it again. I need you to get carry on. Let's understand which part of the emotions we're going to take with us. I need to understand my passion. I need that. I need to understand my frustrations. I need that. These are things that these are present in our lives all the time.
Experts in the room. Dr. Angela, raise your hand again. Dr. Massey, raise your hand again. We have experts in the room. I'm not here as an expert, so hold on. So it's clear. So that you're clear of my role here down here as a woman in construction. I'm here because just like many of you, I'm still working through that balance of how to be my authentic self, how to work out the incongruence, how to tell my story honestly and authentically, and how to know when I am winning and learning, and that happens sometimes at the same time. Most importantly, I'm here to help you guys see that what is your adversity is somebody else's win. What is your adversity? What is you at your worst? What is you at your most challenged? Looks like a win to other people. So it's your responsibility to always know that you are a woman under construction. No matter how that experience shows up, what story you're telling, what narrative is, or even what reinforcement and affirmations you get from other women as to how well you're doing. You heard my bio. What you didn't hear is that most of those experiences are the result of a very broken girl. So I am a success addict. That's the word. That is how I show up in my brokenness. That looks like a win to everybody else. I'm gonna tell you, there is no win in getting off a TEDx stage after doing a TED Talk and being in negative 15 degrees on the side of a track watching a train. There is no win in that. That is literally a winiversity.
And so I have a friend who she lives about a mile away, and our plan is coming up on Tuesday nights. I'm going to try to get everybody asleep and sneak over to her house so we can watch This Is Us together at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. So these, again, small things. A friend who I want to spend time with and we have a hard time making that happen. Small daily deposits over time. How can we make that an intentional priority in our lives? So I want you to think again in the week ahead, what might be some 5-minute moments that you can invest intentionally in a friendship? What might be an hour of an opportunity that you can invest in a friendship? And think about who that woman is and what might be the action you can take this week. And then the last thing, connectivity is a function of time and then authenticity and being real. So in a big moment of authenticity and being real, I'll tell you, this is the place where I struggle and have a hard time. Have y'all heard about the Enneagram? Do y'all know what this thing is? It's not the pentagram, that's of the devil. I'm not talking about that. But it's this thing, it's kind of like Myers-Briggs typology, where it's a tool that helps you understand yourself and how you interact with others. And you're a number 1 through 9. And the number that I am is an Enneagram 3. It's called the achiever or the performer. And my core motivation is to feel or to be perceived as excellent, like I've got it all together, and like this chick has it together. My core fear is for you to realize that I don't actually have it all together, and that I have things going on where I have struggles. The Lord is really using this to show me just how much I can rest in His grace, and I don't have to be perfect, and nobody's expecting me to be. So when it comes to being real, authentic friends with somebody, how real do you feel like somebody is? If you're asking them, so how's everything going? And you're like, fine, great, everything's good. Kids are great, marriage is great, work is great, everything's great. Liar, liar, I heard somebody say liar, liar, y'all, that has been really hard for me to open up the armor a little bit and let people know when stuff is not good. It's not fine. So I'll tell you, there's a friendship that God has recently blessed me with and brought in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. And the way it all came about was potty training. Now, y'all, speaking of other journeys, y'all, like, to the point I got a line in my head. I had to go get Botox because potty training put a line in my head. It's a true story. But all this to say, that was one factor of several other things that were going on with my son. We were walking through a season with him where we were having trouble at home, trouble at school, literally dealing with crap. And I was so frustrated. And somebody at church one day asked me, how's your family? And I'm like, Charlie, I love him, but I don't know what it's like him. And she looked at me and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, uh-huh. And she's like, you don't seem okay. And she opened up that she was having some parenting struggles as well. And she said, hey, why don't we exchange numbers and we can encourage one another, or even just vent, and let's see what happens. So we exchanged numbers that day, and y'all, she was so good to just text me funny things, encouraging words. Texting led to phone calls. We started not just talking about parenting, but some other things. And that friendship has been so rich and meaningful. It was like time spent together plus honesty leads to more time together plus honesty plus more time together plus honesty.
The lessons that you've learned there through your relationships. So some of the unexpected expectations came from an ex-family member of mine, my ex-husband. The person you thought was going to be on your side. I married him. He was 7 years older than me. And at the time, I was still a student at Purdue University getting my master's degree. So I didn't have a job. He was the sole provider. And he took that in a negative way, unfortunately. It was like, you do what I say because you won't, you don't have anything without me. And unfortunately, I fed into that. And I did. And I did everything. I cooked, I cleaned, I took care of our son when we had our son. I did it all. Well, as I graduated and my career started to take off, he became a little more verbally abusive. And then it became physically abusive. And that's when I realized, this is not the person God intended for me, okay? You cannot soar and reach your blessings that God has for you if you're too busy following those breadcrumbs that the devil left in your path. So going back to Amy, I had some friends when I made some phone calls. I'm not going to self-incriminate us, but he's no longer in my life, okay?
Is there a very
that was very unexpected. But again, ladies, those things will happen. And it's not what happens to you, it's your response to what happens.
You breathe at 8 and you breathe at 6. You're just angry. Well, what if women did it's funny, but it's just that simple? Yes. But I'm about to hit y'all with something. Is there security who's armed? Let me get back up here. Because art imitates life. So if you're feeding yourself buzzard food and you're eating on dead things, then what comes out of you is foul. It's the foul odor. I don't care if you put Tom Ford on it, if you put Nest on it. I hear you, Candace. I don't care. It's foul. If all you do is ingest buzzard food, dead things, other people's lives, other people's business, feasting on other people's foes, of their pain, if that's the only time you can get joy, you stink. You're don't even know it. And you fresh to death. Woo. Literally.
Yeah, you preaching that.
Can you get the offer, Mr. Wood? S-H-E-R. I'm sorry, wrong person. I'm sorry, I thought she was giving the offer. But what if we ate off living things?
I am my father's child. I am not that, sweet syrupy person. That is not me. But you get a lot of criticism from women because that's not my personality. Because I'm so direct, I get a lot of hate from that. And that's what it feels like anyway, hate from it. And then they'll say, oh, well, you're just an attorney. No, I was like this since I was a little bitty girl. And this is how I come to you. So any tips from telling me to be who I am not, being my authentic self, this is me. But I would like you to address that because we're not all the same as women and we don't all have that personality. I can be polite, but I'm direct.
It's for me, just so I'm clear, the question is for me?
It's for the panel.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, so I had this aha moment one day in a manicurist, and I was with some friends and I was like, yeah, because I'm so nice. And they were like, no. It was shocking to me. I was like, what do you mean? They was like, no, you're not nice, you're kind. I was like, and then I had the audacity to call somebody and put them on speaker and I was like, am I nice? They were like, no. I was like, you're on speaker. Oh yes, you're lovely. No, but my point is, I am kind, I'm not nice. But because people say that because I'm direct. I say what I mean what I say, there's no ambiguity. And you have to be unapologetic about that. About your ambiguity. Someone else's insecurities and their inability to handle the fact that you don't speak in abstract is their problem, not for you to solve. You can model behavior and you can offer to coach them so they too will be confident in speaking in their authentic voice. And you can create safe spaces for them because I create safe spaces for women to be their authentic selves, not many versions of me. And I'm not going to become versions of them. But I don't start changing my personality because you're uncomfortable. Maybe we shouldn't talk.
Managing. So let me say this to you. So again, you heard, this is my very dear friend, but we're polar opposite. And she did a hug campaign last year for the city of Memphis. Isn't that beautiful? People, she called me and some ladies over there, and she's like, we're gonna go out and we're gonna hug people. I said, oh, okay. At 7? Okay, that's great. She said, it's gonna be great. Listen, I have your shirt. It's gonna be what we give free hugs. Because, and she can tell her part of the story is that she said she had done it before and she had hugged some people that hadn't had hugs in 20 years. Wow. And I said, okay, so here's the first part. We talk about showing up for each other. Find you friends that will let you be you, okay? And so she knew who she was getting when she got me, and so I showed up, and it was raining, and I had on sunglasses. And look, you want to tell the story? It was raining, just remember that part.
So that's always her excuse. It was raining. I said, no, ma'am. So this is how she shows up. So I have a shirt for her. It says free hugs, start the healing. Like we are ready to go out here and hug the people. I see her coming all the way across the parking lot, right? She's got on sunglasses, which she must sleep in them. And then she had an umbrella. She had on flip-flops, a coffee, and she had on a shirt. I said, I have a shirt for you because I knew. I said, and it's ironed because I knew. And her shirt said, not today, not ever. I was